It was a rainy evening when I found myself alone in our house. My parents were away on a business trip, and the weather forecast warned of heavy rain for the next few days. I wished I could go out or have friends over, but the rain made it impossible. So, I decided to play computer games to pass the time. After a couple of hours of gaming, I felt hungry. I went to the kitchen and checked the pantry. Nothing. The fridge was equally disappointing. I thought about ordering pizza and found a place that was still delivering despite the storm. They said it would take an hour. While waiting, I made myself some hot chocolate to ward off the chill from the rain. Wrapped in a blanket, I settled on the couch, dreaming of hot, cheesy pizza. I must have dozed off because the next thing I knew, there was a knock on the door. Excited, I jumped up, thinking it was the pizza. But as I approached the door, I saw through the open window beside it a man in a black coat, wearing black shades and a cap. He had no pizza. My heart skipped a beat. Delivery guys didn't dress like that. He knocked again. I wasn't sure if I should answer or pretend no one was home. He moved closer to the window, trying to peer inside. I ducked behind the door, sitting against it, holding my breath. After a few tense moments, his shadow disappeared. I felt a wave of relief. Just as I was about to stand up, I heard the doorknob rattle. He was trying to get in. Panic surged through me. Should I call the police? What if he broke in before they arrived? I needed to be prepared. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and my phone from the couch. Dialing 911. I got only the operator. It wasn't enough. I needed to rely on myself. The rain had subsided, but the man was still at the door. Then, I heard a car pull up and a door slam. It was Greg, our neighbor who worked the night shift. Fear gripped me for Greg's safety. I pressed my ear to the door, straining to hear their conversation, but their voices were too low. Moments later, Greg got back into his car and drove off. I peeked through the window again, hoping the man was gone. To my horror, he was standing in the driveway, staring at Greg's departing car. Then, he turned his gaze to the window where I was hiding. I ducked quickly, heart pounding. Did he see me? His shadow moved closer, and I prayed he hadn't. I watched the floor, waiting for his shadow to disappear. The doorknob stopped rattling. Gathering my courage, I peeked out again. He was gone. Still, I stayed by the window, watching for any sign of his return. After what felt like an eternity, my pizza finally arrived. The delivery guy was confused by my nervous demeanor, but I couldn't explain. That night left me traumatized. Now, whenever I'm alone, I triple-check every door and window, ensuring they're locked tight. My coworker Fred has a nice bungalow house with 4 bedrooms. Since he's alone in that house, he invited coworkers who wanted to be closer to work to rent rooms, including myself. During weekends, all of my housemates would visit their families, but since my family lives far away, I just stayed in the house and only visited them for special occasions. One Saturday, the weather was perfect. It was sunny and windy. My housemates left early in the morning to be with their families, and Fred also had something important to do that day, leaving me alone in the house. I decided to make the most of my day and get some chores done. I did my laundry and cleaned the house, mopping the floors, dusting the furniture, and opening the windows to let fresh air in. By 1 p.m., I was done with all the chores. I made myself a late lunch and turned on the TV in the living room to watch some movies on Netflix. The TV was facing the windows, so I was sitting with the window at my back. As I was watching, whenever the scene in the movie got dark, I could see the reflection of the window behind me, which was about 5 feet away from the couch. At first, I thought it was just a trick of the light or my imagination, but then I noticed something odd. When the scene got dark, I saw a tall shadow in the reflection of the TV. I paused the movie at a dark scene and peered at the screen, trying to make out what I was seeing. It looked like a man standing outside the window. I felt a chill run down my spine. I was scared to turn my head and see if it was really a man looking at me. I thought there was no harm if he just stared. He couldn't harm me through the locked door or window. Although his presence was bothering and scaring me, I decided to carry on watching my show, hoping he would go away. But after several minutes, I heard a tapping sound coming from the glass door window. I glanced over and saw the man knocking on the glass with what looked like a coin. He kept knocking, the sound becoming more insistent and irritating. I thought I had to face the man head-on. Summoning my courage, I stood up and turned to face the window. There, standing just outside, was a tall man with wide eyes staring directly at me. He had a full beard and was dressed nicely. He didn't look homeless or like someone who should be wandering around our neighborhood. Instead of walking towards the window, I stepped back, my heart pounding in my chest. Why does the man look at me like that? Is he crazy? Then he started laughing. It wasn't a normal laugh. It was a sinister, mocking sound that sent shivers down my spine. I asked him, "What do you want?" He didn't respond, just kept laughing and staring. I remembered the back door was still open. Oh my gosh, I thought. What if he knew about the back door and rushed there? I was getting increasingly nervous. I didn't know if I should run to the back door and lock it. What if he got there before me? I decided to stay and watch his every move. I thought if he rushed to the back door, that's when I would run too. Unfortunately, my phone was still in my room. I couldn't risk going to my bedroom. He might get inside before I could call the police. So, I just stood there, frozen, waiting for his next move. Then, I saw him moving sideways slowly, inching closer to the back door. I started moving backward, mirroring his movements, thinking if he ran, I would run too. My heart was racing. My hands were sweating. The man hadn't taken his eyes off me. I glanced at the kitchen for a second, thinking I should grab a knife. The kitchen was just a few steps away. When I looked back at the window, he was gone. Panic surged through me. Did he already run to the back door? I rushed to the back door, but when I got there, I saw no one. Did he already get inside? I cautiously checked all the rooms, opening each door slowly and peering inside. Every room was empty. I went to my room, locked the door, and called the police to check the house and surroundings. When the police arrived, they found no one. I thought, did the man just run away? That incident left me shaken. Now, I always make sure all the doors are locked. I've become more cautious, always double-checking the locks and looking over my shoulder. The memory of that sinister laugh and those wide, staring eyes haunts me. Sometimes, I wonder if he'll come back.